Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the different ways that we find all of our coins to get certified through NGC. Of course, everybody's going to see this a little bit differently. Everybody has a different idea of the right and the wrong for finding these, but we think these are kind of a pretty good basis of where you would go to find what you want to find to get certified. I'm going to look at each and every one of these individually. We'll talk about the pros and cons of each different one, and more or less what you'd be looking for in every different aspect that we have here. All right, so first up, obvious one for us, and I know you guys have heard us preach this time and time again: mint sets. This one, of course, is a particular one that's near and dear to our hearts because this is the 1987 uncirculated coin set. This has the second ever appearance of the NFC Kennedy half dollar, not intended for circulation. The only way you could get these 1987 Kennedy half dollars was in this mint set. And of course, that goes for business strikes only. They had proof coins, of course, but again, you can only find those in the proof sets. And this example that we have here is probably a few coins that we're gonna get certified. There is some gorgeous coins in here. And the beauty of these is, again, you know that these are not circulated. Now, they could have some damage on them from mishandling because this stuff is pretty thin. So it can allow some damage to occur if someone bangs these coins together or if they're just improperly stored over time. And the cello can get damaged. It can actually tear open. It can allow stuff to get in. It can get some pretty nasty looking unnatural toning, or to some people it might be good looking natural toning. Again, you collect how you want to collect and you like what you like. We're not here to tell you what you want to do, just give you some ideas of what you can do. But this is a really nice looking Kennedy half dollar. Denver is going to be the ones with the red trim. And then Philadelphia has the blue trim, and I think the Philadelphia looks even better than the Denver. Yeah, that's a pretty good looking coin. And I believe, if I remember right, we already looked at these, and these nickels are full steps. And one of these dimes is full bands, or full torch, as NGC would give them the designation. Not as big a deal when you have full steps on the more modern nickels. Of course, the older ones, it's much rarer. But still, full steps is full steps. And being 1987, yeah, it's a modern coin, but it's still really exciting to find full steps regardless. Just not quite as rare as, say like, again, 1968, 1969, 70s, pretty much early 70s, 60s. There's a couple years in the 50s where full steps isn't that uncommon, but yeah, and anytime you find that, it's pretty much a win. Next up, we have the proof sets. And of course, as you guys know, the further back you go, the more rare it is to find cameo and deep cameo designation on proof sets. This is one of the ones that we got as part of that deal with the albums and stuff that you guys saw in the local coin show pickups. I think it was, a week ago or so that we had that up. But yeah, this was all the albums and proof sets and all that fun stuff. Let's take a look at this real quick. Because if I remember correctly, this Kennedy half dollar could just about qualify for cameo. It's not going to go decam or deep cameo, but I would say it's cameo. Now, if you're going through PCGS and a few of the other ones, they call it decam or deep cameo. NGC calls it ultra cam or ultra cameo. But it all means the same thing. And for them to qualify for the cameo, it has to be on the obverse, which we can see there's definitely some cameo here, and there has to be some on the reverse as well. And yeah, it looks pretty cameo, so this one might be worth getting broken out and seeing if we can get the cameo designation. From looking at this, I would say it's probably proof 67, proof 68 cameo. Big word of advice, again, unless you just want to get this thing certified because you're trying to make a set of certified proofs, make sure that it's worth getting certified. It's $17 to get this thing certified, you know, plus the shipping, of course. So if it's not going to cover that when it comes to it, if you're using it as an investment, then you know, by all means, don't do it. Look for another set where it's deep cameo, so that you can start getting the more money tacked on to the value of the coin. But you know, again, if it's something that you like, do it. You collect how you want to collect. That's all there is to it. Nobody should be able to tell you how to do it. If this isn't an investment for you, or if this isn't the investment part of your collection, then you know, by all means, certify whatever you want to get certified. You guys have seen me certify 2005 Buffalo nickels just because they had sentimental value to me, so that's the way to go. And another obvious avenue, of course, is things like this right here. Just little proof singles. Says $7, but I think we paid like $5 for it, something like that. Probably won't get this one certified, just because, I mean, it's a nice coin, but it has a little bit of a blemish there, so that might count against its eye appeal. But this would be a really, really cool coin for a Dansko album. This would be awesome for a Dansko set. Now, the caveat to that is that if this coin was cameo or decam, or ultra cameo, of course, following NGC guidelines, this might be worth considerably more money. Otherwise, you know, there's no real sentimental reason why we would get this certified. There's no huge monetary gain for spending the $17 plus shipping and handling to get it certified. So this will just go in an album, or it might even just stay like this. You never know. But either way, there's no reason to get rid of it. It's silver. Next up, as we've said before, we like these older blue Ikes, which is the 40% silver Eisenhower dollars. 1971 to 1974, I believe they did these silver Eisenhower dollars. Now these 1971s, Mint State 66 is pretty common. Mint State 67 and up, not so much. Every year is a little bit different. 1972, 73, I think 74, Mint State 67s are a little bit more common, but the 67s in 1971 are a little bit more valuable. And we like getting these because we can usually pick these up for $7 to $10 a piece. We can buy them in bulk. We can go through them and see if there's any of them in here that we think might go 67, which we haven't gotten one of those yet. But we will. Law of averages, we will. But if we find one that we don't think is going to go or it's not worth being certified, then we just, you know, we throw it on eBay. We resell it. You're not going to lose your money with these. That's the beauty of this whole thing. Or, since it's 40% silver, you know, it's not a lot of silver content, but as silver goes up and goes down, the value of these can also go up. I remember back in 2011 when silver was absolutely crazy. These things were selling for a pretty good amount of money because they had silver content. So, you know, it's worth holding on to. It's not like it's eating a lot of food. It's not drinking any water, and it doesn't take up hardly any space to store. So if you don't need the money, then by all means, hold on to it. Otherwise, you can dispose of it pretty quickly. Next up is these guys right here. This is a Nipsey roll, not intended for circulation. A $10 roll of Kennedy half dollars. This is from the Denver Mint, and again, this is the only way that you could get these particular coins was you had to buy them from the mint in these rolls or in mint sets. These were not circulated coins. I mean, of course, there's some that are circulated now. We find them in boxes and rolls and stuff like that, but originally, this roll, the Denver plus the Philadelphia, which we do have the Philadelphia to go along with this as well. I think this was like $35 plus shipping from the mint back in the day. And now you can get these fairly easily from local coin shops, you know, for $15-20. In fact, I think we paid like $12.50 for this roll. So yeah, we couldn't really pass that up at all. But in this, of course, is the difficult decision. Do you open this beautiful US mint roll to see if you can find something in there that is a extremely high grade or beautiful? As you can see, there's sort of a gold halo toning starting to appear around the coins because they're in the roll. Or do you keep it just like this, or do you break it out and see if there's something that is an extremely high grade in there? We'll probably hold on to it because a lot of these Nifsies, even in a higher grade, I mean, of course, unless they're in the super high grades, mint state, 68, 69, 70, they're not really worth a whole lot of money. So we'll probably keep this just like this. This is kind of like a little time capsule. I mean, these have been just like this for 15 years, and there's not really a reason why they couldn't stay like this for another 50. But yeah, really great way to find these Kennedy half dollars, especially your Nifsies. And this here is also, of course, from another video that we did almost a year ago now. We got a full box of these brand new American Memorial Park quarters. And we did find West Points in there. In fact, we found a West Point Ender. And pretty much every single coin in every one of the rolls was absolutely beautiful. I mean, we're talking at least 65, 66, and much, much higher. In fact, there's some that we're still thinking about getting graded that could go all the way up to 67, cross your fingers, maybe 68. But this is another judgment call, of course, because there could be West Point quarters in here. And when we got these, instead of pulling out the West Point American Memorial Parks in this particular box, we were pulling out Lowell's. So there could be a Lowell West Point in here. Of course, their prices drop down a little bit in recent times as more people discover them, and the hype kind of dies down, and the hype will increase for the 2020 West Point quarters that they're producing. So the Lowells will spike a little bit, then they'll go back down. That's just kind of the way modern coinage goes until it stabilizes. It might take a few years for it to actually happen, but yeah, there's probably some really, really, really beautiful coins locked away in here. And again, it's just a judgment call. Do you hold on to this and use it as a little time capsule, knowing that there could be a Lowell West Point in here that's never been touched by human hands? Or do you break it open and try to find that sweet, sweet mint state 68 American Memorial Park, or could even be a American Memorial Park, these are going to be Denver's, of course, Denver proof-like, or there could even be a West Point proof-like in here, who knows? But this is an absolutely wonderful avenue to find coins to get certified. I mean, this obviously is uncirculated, and every single one of these is going to be mint state. And then, of course, for your older coinage, these are readily available on eBay, and they are, of course, available at your local coin shop. Cincinnati Branch Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. I love these old rolls. And this one we just happen to know is a 1971 Denver roll. But every single one of these pennies, again, in here, is going to be mint state. Of course, the ends are going to be subjected to the elements a little bit, but the coins inside should be quite beautiful. Now, 1971 Denver, there's not really any notable varieties or errors in there. I mean, there could be a few, but of course, there's some that are not necessarily going to be well known, quote unquote. I mean, there could be die chips in here. There could be all kinds of different sorts of errors that are in here. But this is definitely the route to go if you're looking for some beautiful red pennies. And again, you can still get 1969S rolls. They're going to be a little bit more expensive because people know about the very, 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 very well-known, very expensive 1969S DDO, double die obverse. But they can still be had on eBay. And you can't really go wrong with that beautiful copper penny. This one obviously has been circulated. However, this is an 1875S, which is a San Francisco strike, 20-cent piece. Hands down one of my absolute favorite coins, mainly because of that eagle design on the back. I just think it's really cool, to be honest. And of course, I love Seated Liberty coins. I don't know if it's so much I love the design of the Seated Liberty as just the fact that I get excited knowing that it's an older coin. But of course, with the older coins, you got to make sure that there's not any damage on them because they will come back as, like say this one here would probably be a VF coin. However, it does display some damage right there on the rim. So if they want to count that damage against you, this would come back with a grade of damaged VF details. So they wouldn't give you an actual numerical grade on this coin. And I think that damage there and that damage there is enough probably for them to do that. Now, when you're actually getting coins certified, You have to, when you're going through the process of setting up your actual order to get your coins certified, you have to tell them whether they are to give you a numerical grade on coins that they think are damaged or cleaned, which I don't think this coin is cleaned, but also very difficult to tell. Although this one I think is pretty much original. You have to tell them if you want that designation, or if you want them to just send it back to you as ungradable. So they'll either slab it or they'll just send the coin back to you. I always tell them to go ahead and give us the details grade, just because on some of the rarer coins, you know, like if you have a 1909S VDB that has some damage or has been cleaned, or 31S penny, or you know, any other rare coin variety or error, that grade, even though it's not an actual numerical grade and it says that it's damaged or cleaned or what have you, that'll still raise the value, because that's essentially authenticating the coin. That's them saying, hey, yeah, this is a real 1909S VDB coin, however, it is cleaned. So that'll raise some value. Obviously not as much as an undamaged or uncleaned coin or unaltered coin, but they're still saying it's genuine. All right, quick word about crossover service. Essentially what that is like, this is a good example right here. ICG coin mint state 70. I disagree with the grade. I think it's more of a mint state 69. It does show some flaws. Being that they say it's mint state 70, it can't be that if it has any flaws. Of course, it'd be mint state 69 or whatever. Mint state 67 or mint state 70, of course, would be perfect. And there being a flaw, common sense says that's not mint state 70. It's not perfect. So PCGS and NGC that I know of do crossover service. With that crossover service, they'll actually reevaluate the coin to see if it's a mint state 70 or more likely a mint state 69, and they'll put it in their own slab with their own designation. PCGS will do, you know, coins from grading companies such as NGC, ICG, like this one, ANAX, and I think a couple other companies, and do the crossover service. NGC currently only does PCGS, previously slabbed coins, but that is a really good way to solidify the value of your coin. ICG is not one of the top tier quote-unquote grading companies, so this coin is not going to be worth as much as, say, a PCGS or NGC certified coin, because ICG, of course, is notorious for being overgraders. In fact, I've had several coin collectors and even coin dealers say that ICG stands for I can't grade, so they've definitely got a little bit of a worse reputation than the other companies. But you would literally send it to them just like this. They'll break it out for you, reevaluate it, and put it into one of their own slabs. When you're doing the order, you're actually setting up the order to get the coins graded, and you're sending this little fella in right here. You can actually tell them whether you want them to regrade it and slab it if they do decide it's a lower grade, or if you want them to just send it back to you just like this to maintain the mint state 70. But obviously, I think personally, morally, you're better off getting the new slab and the lower grade and just taking it. Now, if you disagree with that, you can also send it in for a regrade where they'll reevaluate it and see if it is actually a mint state 70. But I mean, typically when it comes to mint state 69 and 70, again, if you see a flaw on your coin, it shouldn't be a mint state 70. That's just all there is to it. Alright, so that's pretty much what we look for when we're trying to find stuff to get sent out for grading. Again, everybody collects the way they want to collect. Everybody has a different concept of collecting, and you know, as we always preach, collect what you want to collect and do what you want to do. That's the most important part. Of course, you know, me and Keith have stuff that we buy for investment, as you've seen, and we have stuff that we buy for sentimental reasons, or we just like it. And I think, you know, truly that's the whole concept behind coin collecting and even investing. I mean, if it's something that you're interested in, you're going to get good at it, you're going to get good at investing in it, you're going to want to invest in it. And of course, some of these coins, if they're high enough grade, they're both. They're not only are they numismatic and they're awesome to own and they're fun to look at, but they can be a heck of an investment. So yeah, if you guys have anything to add to what we have shown you here today, or any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them down below. But until next time, guys, love you all, God bless, and we will see you very soon.